Hello and welcome to the Etch Play weekly live show. I'm your host this week. My name is Adam Burt and I'm thrilled to be here. It's Thursday, the 14th of October, and it's 4 p.m. right here live on Twitch or on YouTube if you're watching it on Catch Up. I'm joined today by two very special guests, and I'm going to introduce them now. We've got Flo Birchill and Martijn van der Molen from Snapfinger Click. How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, pretty good.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's quite exciting.
It is my pleasure to have you here. And these guys are from Snapfinger Click, who are a game studio. You might know them as the previous, or they've worked on the Buzz video games for the PlayStation, the quiz games. And they're here to talk about Kickstarter today because they've got their own Kickstarter. It's a new card game version of a party game called Awkward that they've created. And yeah, it's very exciting. So we're going to jump into that very shortly. After that, we're going to be playing the Artful Escape today. That's our gameplay segment. It's a really fascinating game about musicality and about discovering yourself, so stick around for that. And later on in the show, Ben Joy will be here to talk about all the latest gaming news and things from the world of games, basically. If you're in the chat and you'd like a shout out, let us know. I see a couple of you in there. Hello, Tony. It's nice to see you, as always. Thanks for tuning in. And Ben's in the chat as well. He doesn't count because he's working on the show today. He doesn't count as an audience member. He's sneaking. He's playing both sides. Hello, Emma. Thanks for tuning in. And hello to Miles as well. Thanks, guys. We appreciate your time on this sunny Thursday evening, or afternoon, rather, in the UK. So let's talk about Kickstarter then. Flo and Martijn, again, thank you for coming on. I guess the first place to start is let's have the pitch. Let's hear about this Kickstarter you guys are launching, right? It's called Awkward. It's a controversial party game, is how you're billing it. Martijn, do you want to introduce it to the folks at home?
Yeah, sure. So so like you say, Awkward is a controversial party game. Originally, this has been like a small breakthrough hit for us. We won a few awards with it. It's a party game where you get asked a very divisive, controversial question. There's no right or wrong answer. It's more about getting an insight into your personality. You answer in secret, and then the other players have to guess how you answered, and they can win by guessing it correctly. We decided to, for about over 2 years, try to change it into a physical card game. A lot of subtleties, spent a lot of time prototyping, also figuring out how to manufacture a real card game, because even though we've got a lot of experience building video games, we've never made a card game before. But yeah, here it finally is.
Yeah, and Flo, I'd love to get some insight from you about crowdfunding and why you guys felt it was the right choice for this, for this party game version of Awkward and this card game. Like, why crowdfunding? What was the thinking behind that?
So as Martijn said, we have made and released 5 video games, but this is the first ever physical card game that we've ever made. It's completely brand new. We had no idea what we were doing, no idea if it'd be successful or not. So we kind of are depending a lot on our community to see how it would go, and using their support, which obviously is what crowdfunding does. And I mean, it's even so making a card game completely brand new, using Kickstarter completely brand new. So it's been a lot of learning, but I feel confident now that if we were to do another Kickstarter, it'd be a lot easier, a lot quicker, because it is. So this is the first time doing something. It's so much stuff that you don't think you'd have to think about. Yeah,
you figured out the kinks, and it looks like it's going quite well so far. You're 75% funded. It's been live for about a week, so that's really good news. I have put a link in the chat if you're interested. If you like the sound of Awkward, you can go and back it now, and you can be part of this wonderful thing. You can make Awkward a reality. Yeah, they need all your support.
Yeah.
Martijn, I wanted to ask you, because obviously you've both mentioned this, it's a big shift for Snapfinger Click to move from video games and I guess primarily digital products into a physical one. What's it like for a video games business to make that transition to work with Kickstarter? Like, has it changed the way that you operate? Has it changed the way that you approach marketing and PR? Because I guess there's you can't make it and then sell it. You almost have to sell it before you've finished making it. How's that work out?
Well, it is definitely quite a shift. But for us, because we're very passionate about multiplayer party games, and obviously all our video games are multiplayer party games, but also from a more analog perspective. We play a lot of board and card games. Flo has essentially been hired partially because of her passion for board and card games as well. So we're very interested in that. And for Awkward specifically, like the video game version was already practically a card game, or it was so incredibly close to it. But there are a few things in there where we felt like, yeah, you can only really do this as a video game, and that's fine when it's a video game, but it doesn't work so well when it's a physical game. So that took us a really, really long time to crack. And like I said before, like we prototyped it and we're sort of there now. Yeah, it's weird because with a video game, it's like, hey, you sort of work your way towards releasing it, and then it's live, and then it's like, yeah, you keep your fingers crossed and you see reviews and you see user feedback. But with this, especially when it's a Kickstarter campaign, yeah, it just goes live on Kickstarter, and you just have to wait there for a month. In the meantime, like doing everything you can to promote it, but it's completely nerve-wracking. It's it's been quite a journey, so to say. And yeah, like same with like PR and marketing. Yeah, this is a completely different approach. Because we're an indie developer, we always heavily relied on our community, and we've got a great community, and we're super happy with them. And like the people in that community are also like, hey, this is awesome. Snapfinger Click is doing a multiplayer party card game this time, and that's great. Like for us, I think a big advantage is that as a studio, we fully focus on multiplayer party games, and making the move from that perspective to a physical party game is actually not that big, and it's like it works well for our community, and that's sort of the part where I feel we know better what we're doing. But yeah, there's still like huge changes. Same with PR and marketing. Like we work with a PR company quite often, like based here locally in Brighton, but they're also like, Kickstarter is just a completely different
a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've got to give a shout out because in the chat we've got somebody who's asking for one. They say they are known as DK in the Snapfinger Click community. Thanks for tuning in, DK. I'm sure.
Hi, DK.
Hi, DK.
Hey, DK.
Everyone's saying hello.
DK is one of our biggest fans.
One of your biggest fans. Okay, DK.
Yes.
There's your shout out. You got a special one from both Flo and Martijn. Flo, you mentioned that if you did a Kickstarter again, you'd know a little bit better what you were doing. Do you think we'll see more stuff from Snapfinger Click on Kickstarter in future? Will you potentially, because obviously a lot of video games do develop on Kickstarter as well. They come about from that kind of funding. Will we see future stuff from you on there, do you think?
Yeah, potentially. We have a couple of ideas about maybe some other board games or physical games that we could do. Now that so much of this making Kickstarter was just research. So now that that's kind of done, I've got in my head like how to really do it. But when it comes to physical games, they do really well on crowdfunding on Kickstarter. It'd be something we'd have to think about for video game, just because we have released 5 already not using crowdfunding, but it's definitely an option.
Yeah, I would love to get, because I feel like you guys have like gone through the fire of Kickstarter basically, and you've come out the other side with this wonderful shiny Kickstarter page. I'd love to, I guess, pick both of your brains about like, if there are people out there who are tempted to try crowdfunding, people who are thinking, I've got something I want to launch, whether it's a video game, whether it's a physical game, like what are some of the kind of top tips and tricks maybe that you guys have learned that you could share with people who are interested in delving into the world of crowdfunding? And maybe Martijn, should we start with one from you and we both get one?
Yeah, sure. Like we researched a lot of other Kickstarter projects as well and tried to find out how they approach it, and also just looking at Kickstarter pages of successful and unsuccessful projects and trying to learn as much as possible from that. A major part of Kickstarter is basically preparation. It's like you need to know exactly what your product is, what the cost is. You need to know that inside out before you go live on your Kickstarter page. It's like it took us about 7 months to basically figure out a whole manufacturing process from beginning to end, talking to different manufacturers, safety certificate ratings, barcodes, figure out how that works. It's a huge learning curve. And then like my top tip, and that's also takeaway for us for like if we do another Kickstarter, which we hopefully do, is instead of trying to use the formatting of Kickstarter, that the options that they support, try to do as much as possible using images, because it gives you much more flexibility, and that's one of the things that we sort of struggled a little bit with in the early days of getting our page live, but we've got that under control now.
Yeah, I guess first impressions must be really important for a Kickstarter. It's like, you can't let somebody leave. He's like, please watch this, please look at this image, and like, see how great it is, and please buy it now, or not buy it.
Yeah, we're still refining, to be honest. I think the opening text was originally like about a page long, so I just cut it down to maybe a quarter. Just keep optimizing.
And Flo, what about you? What are some of the lessons that you've learned from this process?
So I'll reiterate a point that Martijn made, the research. We spent so long just going through, because some of the most successful crowdfunding pages on Kickstarter have been for card games. So just going through and just scrolling through their pages, picking out the things that worked, picking out the things that like attracted us, comparing them to, I think I had like on my tabs, just like all these different card game Kickstarters, just going through them, making notes on which ones we could use, which ones are like relevant to us. But then also a big part of crowdfunding is, of course, your community. Kickstarter has an option that you can pre-launch your page where people can sign up beforehand, and then means that when it does go live, they get a notification. And I remember we were kind of keeping it quiet, it's like, surprise, we're doing a Kickstarter. I remember someone, a company that it might have actually been someone that worked at Kickstarter, said just talk about it now, because there's more people you get, because the campaign's only 30 days. It's all about you want to get as many people to hear about it as possible. And so we had our pre-launch open for 2 weeks. That was a stressful time of trying to make sure everything's perfect for the launch, but having that and making sure that people are aware of the game, so that then when they see it when they see the whole page when it's ready, they'll be more likely to join it. So there's a lot in like the prep and making sure the community's aware of it. If you have like an email list, sending that out to everyone, sending like a notification out to everyone that's what you're planning, you have more time to get more people, basically.
Yeah. That sounds good. And I didn't prepare you guys for this, so I feel like I should have told you this in advance. But now that we've talked about it, I can't believe I didn't pitch this in the first place. Is there a question from the game that we should ask now among ourselves and just have a little awkward session between the three of us, or just one question? Do any of you know a question that's in the game?
It depends how, because some of the questions are awkward. It depends what kind of one you want.
Yeah,
a bit risque.
Yeah, I think for awkward, it's like, because the video game, once you answer the question, you can see how the rest of the world has answered, and we captured all that data, so we absolutely looked at the questions that had sort of the most 50-50 splits between answers. Like, Flo, do you have a question that's, I guess, safe to mention?
I don't mind if you go risque. Someone else at Etch Play might care. I don't mind.
One that I always think it shows what people's personalities are like is if I think it's one that we actually use on the Kickstarter page, but it's would you rather set fire to your own house or your best friend's house?
Okay.
Yeah, there is no right or wrong answer.
There's no right or wrong answer, and you don't have to do it. Pineapple, DK said pineapple on pizza. That's one of our most controversial ones as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big yay on pineapple on pizza. I don't know about you.
Your team
big
pineapple.
Nay. Yeah.
Are you allowed to put the fire out? Is it, or you've got to burn their house to the ground?
So that's the thing. Yeah, no, their house is ruined. So you either choose to ruin your house or ruin your best friend's. What are you going to do?
I would ruin my own house. I think
Okay.
I don't have it in me to destroy somebody else's well-being. I would tear myself down 10 times out of 10 before I hurt somebody else if I could help it.
See, that shows, and it shows you get to know. It's a big icebreaker, this game.
Yeah.
You get to know people's personalities, their morals, their principles straight away.
Yeah. And pineapple on pizza, I do like sometimes, but it's not my favourite. I wouldn't usually order it. But if I was at a party and there was some Hawaiian pizza, I would probably still have some.
Okay. So you're interesting. You're in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Would you burn your own house?
So I said,
this is the start of a sentence where someone's going to say they're burning down their friend's house.
My reasoning of why I would burn my best friend's house down is that I know that I would be very welcome. I'd let them stay at my house, and I would.
So kind.
Yeah, would they want to after you were the arsonist who destroyed their lives?
So I was thinking that if my friend burnt down my house, I don't know. No, if I burn down my house, I don't know if my friend's gonna let me stay at their house. I don't know if they'll help me get new stuff. I don't know what they'll do, but I know that if I burnt my friend's house down, I would invite them to my house and I would buy them new things.
Right. So
and even if I had it, I'd buy them a new house. It'd be an upgrade.
Yeah, there's an altruistic motivation there, even though it sounds like you just like burning stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the link in the chat again if anyone wants to check this out. I think it's a great idea. It sounds really awesome. Like I say, already over 70% backed, so hopefully well on its way to getting full funding before the end of the 30 days. And where can people find out more about you guys, about Snapfinger Click? Flo, are you on Twitter?
Yep, so we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as also at Snapfinger Click. We also have a Discord that you're welcome to join. We also stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Thursdays, 6 until 10 p.m. UK time. There's also, of course, our website, www.snapfingerclick.com, where you can find all the information and links to all of those social medias if you're interested. And yeah,
cool.
You're welcome to join us with everything that we do.
Yeah, everyone check it out at 6 p.m. tonight, I guess, if you're on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Martijn, what about you? Are you on Twitter? Can people follow you specifically if they want to?
Yeah, they can. Yes, Dogman on Twitter. Long story. Ask me in our Discord if you want to know more. Yeah, like quite a few people in Snapfinger Click are very active inside the Snapfinger Click Discord, which is discord.gg/snapfingerclick. So it's pretty easy to find and join. And it's quite a friendly community there. So come join us, come check our stream, check on TikTok, etc.
Yeah, thank you both so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Our pleasure.
Thanks so much.
And we're going to throw to a pre-recorded segment. This is me and Ben checking out the Artful Escape on the Xbox Series X. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes to check out the latest gaming news. See you soon.
Let me give you the first lesson free.
Hey, and welcome. It's Etch Play video time with me, Adam Burt.
This is the musical key.
That's the musical key, and I'm joined by Ben Joy. Hello, Ben.
Hello, Adam. How is it going?
It's good. Are you ready for a voyage of self-discovery and artistic wonderment?
Every single day of my life.
Okay. This is the Artful Escape, available on Xbox and PC. I'm the guy on the left. I'm going to play this guitar. And we're going to go on a little journey together.
And I'm liking this immediately.
This game is cool. Like, that's the main thing I'd say about this game is it doesn't really play like anything else that I've played. It's more like it's almost like a concept album in game form. It's very musical. It's not that challenging. It's just about matching things, making awesome sounds, and jamming out, which is a lot of fun. I definitely,
nice.
This is pre-recorded, this bit, but I messed up this majorly. This is like the tutorial where they're trying to teach you how to play the guitar. My guy's just freaking out.
I actually downloaded this maybe a week ago, a couple of weeks ago, on Game Pass, and I haven't played it yet. But if this video goes well, I probably will play it. And so far, I'm liking the look of it. Funnily enough, I was back home in Leeds, at my parents' house the other week, clearing out a load of my stuff because I only moved out 8 years ago. And one of the things I picked up was my old Rock Band stuff for Xbox. Mm-hmm. I assume that stuff isn't going to work for this game.
No, I don't think so.
Cool if it would be cool if you could have that kind of the Rock Band guitar and play it that way. That would be cool. I don't even know whether Rock Band's still a thing you can do on an Xbox.
Yeah, you can play it.
Yeah, but I've got the drums, I've got a guitar, I have the whole shebang. I'm gonna see if I can hook that bad boy back up.
Well, luckily for this, you don't need to learn how to play the drums or the guitar. You just need to be able to press buttons in the right order, and you'll see a bit more when you get to explore. This is a bit of tutorializing here, but you get to basically press X to shred guitar at any point when you're exploring the world, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, my X button is going to be worn out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're going to know straight away whether you're into the vibes of this game or whether you're not.
I was literally about to say I'm so into the vibe of this game, even in the tutorial.
Yeah. So this is near the beginning of the game. The game's quite short, not going to show too much of it, but there's this alien called Zom. Essentially, the way the game works, and this is coming out of a studio called Beethoven and Dinosaur, you play as Francis Vendetti, who is this guy. He's the nephew of a famous folk singer. There you go. Press X to shred.
Nice.
Yeah. And he lives in the shadow of his uncle, basically. Like, everyone expects him to live up to this folk legend status and be a folk artist. All he really wants to do is be like David Bowie and just be weird and wonderful and shred his guitar and go on like a sci-fi odyssey in his albums and that kind of stuff. And it's really a game about him coming to terms with that. And he goes on a sci-fi adventure with Lightman, who's played by Carl Weathers, and Zom, the alien.
Even better.
He goes on this
Carl
journey.
Weathers is in this?
Yeah, he is.
I'm in.
We're going to start our journey here. This is near the beginning of the game, like I say, so we're going to start travelling the universe, hopefully before the end of the video. It's an exceptionally beautiful game. It's an exceptionally well-crafted game. The way the music works together with what's happening on screen and works together, you know, when you're playing music with other characters playing music and other things happening, it's incredibly impressive. And even though the game is short, it is, in my view, well worth playing through. I have finished it.
You need to be cleared with legal, obviously.
Obviously, you have to be cleared with legal. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. Insurance, posthumous royalties, and a spectromic signature. You know, all pretty standard.
I really like the writing in this game. I feel like it's a little bit, I don't know, pretentious at times, but I think it's a really well-written exploration of Francis's, you know, worldview and coming-of-age story, I guess, to a degree, because that's what it is, ultimately. He's a teenager and he's figuring out who he wants to be. And I really enjoy
who he wants to be is Ziggy Stardust.
Basically, yes. You get to set your own name, you get to pick your own look. Once you get further into the game, like, you do get to basically set up like who you are as an artist.
Nice. Are we going to get to that point? Like, I'm going to ask you what your rock and roll name was, but if we're going to get to that, we'll wait until we get there. I don't need to.
We're not going to get to that point, I don't think. So I will tell you. I kind of panicked because I was recording the footage and I was like, I can't think of a cool name.
My stage name is Adam Burke.
No, I was thinking about like the themes of the game and some of the conversation in the game about who I was and what I wanted. So the guy's stage name in my game is The Almighty Lost and Found.
That's not bad. It's not very rock and roll, but it's creative. I'll give you that.
Death. That's a striking visual.
So he grows up in this town called Calypso, which is a beautiful town, fun to explore, but the real meat of the game starts when you journey to the Cosmic Extraordinary, which is where we're about to go now. Are you ready, Ben?
Are we gonna French kiss?
I'm ready. I'm gripped. It's sorted. Let Cosmic, whatever you just said.
That's everything you've ever known, baby. Beyond that door lies the Cosmic Extraordinary.
Carl Weathers got you covered. He's reminding you what it's called.
Thanks, Carl. I love Carl Weathers.
The moves of the universe, the outside of reality, often described as the in-between bits.
You do get this from time to time, the option to respond, like in conversation choice way. In practice, I don't think it actually changes very much. It just allows you to add a bit of colour to how you're playing Francis.
Oh, don't worry about it. That's completely natural. Hold your tongue to the roof of your mouth and think of the color purple.
What does it look like? The Cosmic Extraordinary.
What do you think it looks like, Ben?
Baby, it looks different to everyone.
I think it's going to look... I was going to say dark with lots of stars, but I actually think it's going to be so many vibrant colours, like tie-dye-esque. I think it's going to be like that. That's what I think it's going to be like.
Let's find out together.
Ooh. very bright.
Yeah, it's cosmic.
What's this? Heaven?
I'm playing here on the Xbox Series X, if you're wondering.
Oh, I was right first time.
Or were you right second
Right
time?
both times. It was possible to get it right twice. I got it right twice. Not quite tie-dye like I was saying, but definitely
Definitely bright.
colours. Yeah.
So this is how most of the game operates. There's like light platforming, you're moving from left to right, chatting to people from time to time. And obviously you get to play music as well.
Awesome.
There's a lot of that out here, my man.
Wait, where are you going?
Getting the feeling like, and you kind of did say at the beginning anyway, but it feels like it's not going to be massively challenging. It kind of feels like you're just going to experience and kind of go through the story rather than necessarily enact the story. Is that a fair assessment of what's
Yeah,
going
it's
on?
definitely an experience. It's something to be enjoyed for a few hours. I think it took me about, I don't know, 5 hours, I want to say. I mean, there's the album cover right there.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds great. It looks great. Nice.
I mean,
Very,
this game
very
is a vibe.
relaxing.
So you can fall to your death, but it just restarts you straight away.
Okay, I'm like, this is relaxing AF, and you're like, sorry, just died. You die again?
Yes.
Holy moly, you suck.
This game is not challenging at all. Proceeds to die several times.
Don't ever try and do a stage dive as a character. It's not going to go well for you.
I got distracted by the massive spaceship. Okay, like
Yeah. There you go, third time's a charm. Could you have branched off down there, you think?
No.
Or...
it's all very linear.
Right.
I mean, what a game! Like no game looks like this that I've ever played
No.
before.
No, I'm really enjoying watching this, and I'm definitely going to check it out, as I've got it downloaded anyway. Do you know who did the music for this? Because the music is brilliant.
I think I'm going to butcher his name now. I know that as part of the development staff, Johnny Galvatron, I want to say, who
It's a cool name. If
previously,
you've got that right, that's a cool name.
previously a musician. I hope it's Johnny Galvatron. It's Johnny something, who was the kind of overseer of the way music worked on this. And yeah, it's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a music-based game, but I think music in games is maybe sometimes not given the due that it deserves. Like, such a good job is done so much of the time with music, and it's kind of like seen as a background thing. I know it's very forefront in this, but I mean, this just sounds amazing.
Yeah. What sounds amazing is the way that you can play guitar basically at any point, and it just blends in.
Yeah.
Like, it never sounds wrong. And yeah, good to look at. I mean, the game takes you to planets and solar systems and galaxies far beyond your wildest dreams. There's a lot to look at in all the levels. They're all gorgeous. Hello.
Wow.
Well, if it isn't a fluffy little piece of space dust.
This character is played
What a
by
strange sound to
Lena Headey from Game of Thrones.
Whoa.
Haven't seen
Heady?
it. But
Heady.
I'll take your word for
No
it.
wonder. No mistake.
Are you God?
Darling, you are divine. I am not. You know, I did see her once, from a distance.
What was it like?
She was playing pinball.
No way.
Way. All the greats
There's a woman.
are obsessed
You said it
with
here.
pinball. The only reason we created the universe. What
There
do
you
you
have
call
it.
yourself?
The only reason the universe was created
Out here?
was
No
for,
wonder you're into this game. I know
pinball.
you love pinball.
I'm dabbling with the idea of becoming someone else entirely. My name. It's complicated.
So we don't want to show too much of the game. Like I say, it's quite short.
In
So I
this
think we'll throw
place,
back to the
you
studio.
are the namer of names.
Thanks for joining me, Ben.
But choose
No worries, thanks for having me.
wisely.
I've really enjoyed this. I'm gonna
Names
go
can
play
get
this.
carried away.
And we'll see you again on a future Etch Play video. Take care.
They wander off,
Bye.
begin to breathe. Before you know it, they're on books and banners, scrawling themselves over manifestos. A name, once weightless, suddenly
Burdened with the weight.
Hey, welcome back. You are still watching the Etch Play weekly live show with me, Adam Burt, as your host today on the 14th of October, and a lovely day it is too. That was the Artful Escape, available now on Game Pass. That was the Xbox Series X version we were playing, and yeah, it's worth checking out. It's very cool. I'm joined now by one Ben Joy. There he is, pointing at himself, just in case you weren't sure which of the two of us is Ben. And we're going to be talking about the latest news from the world of games, giving some insights, some industry views. We've got a few things to talk about today, actually. A little bit, I'm going to tell you right now, this sounds dry, but it's not. There's some interesting meat between these bones, shall we say. Yeah, just gonna, don't say that. Ben, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. I've had better days, but you know, I'm on the live show now, so my day.
You know the
my
rule of
days
the live
picked up.
show. You always act like you're having a good time, no matter
Oh,
what.
I'm sorry. You know, I'm just trying to be real. You know, I feel a lot better now. I'm on the live show. This has definitely picked up my mood, and hearing Flo and Martijn definitely picked up my mood. I thought it was a nice window into people's personalities. How me and Flo had the exact opposite answer. Flo said she would burn down her friends because she would be very welcoming for her to let them come to stay at her house. Where I was like, I'll burn my own because I don't want obliged to have to take anyone in, and I'll just go do what I want.
Should we do some news?
Yeah, sorry, I derailed you there. Let's
You have
get
a
on with
little
this not dry news.
Okay. You know what's not dry? Court verdicts, because that's what we're talking about first. We are talking about the news that Apple is basically appealing part of the verdict in their California Epic Games versus Apple case. So just to give you a little refresher on this, a federal judge declared last month Apple was not a monopoly when they issued this decision, but they did say that Apple were not allowed to prohibit developers from pointing to other means of payment beyond Apple's own payment systems. So it was a bit of a thing where it was like, did Epic win, did Apple win? They kind of both lost. However, Apple are now appealing this decision, asking for a stay on the injunction that the judge has put into place, which means that we're going to see, presumably, unless this falls through, a massive delay on any sort of changes to the App Store's rules and policies until a final decision is made after the appeals case has been decided. So while previously they would have been compelled to change within a certain time frame, it was going to be in the next few months, now we'll have to wait until all the appeals have been resolved, which could take a very long time before we see any kind of meaningful change to the world of the App Store or the world of payments for Fortnite. Ben, what do you make of this?
I feel like that last sentence you said you could finish with, in surprise to nobody. I mean, this was always going to... I feel like this was always going to happen. There wasn't going to be a clean resolution. I think it's a very complex matter, and there are good cases on, being made on both sides. It's we've said this before. I mean, we talked about it weekly for a little while. It's two big companies just really slugging it out of each other, and the loser is the players, which we don't enjoy seeing. So I'm not surprised it's not finished clean. I think this will be going on for a long while yet, and whether we actually see any change off the back of all this remains to be seen. Probably not, and probably not for a very long time. The saga continues, I guess.
Yes, it does, and we'll bring you all the latest every week when it's interesting enough. The next news story we're talking about is about that Twitch data breach, and specifically about some code that was leaked as part of that. So last week we mentioned the breach, we mentioned people's data getting out there. This week we're talking about Vapor, which is the code name for an online store that Amazon, who are the owners of Twitch, are apparently developing, and this code was part of these leaks. Now, we don't know if this is still on the cards, or if it was an old project that was abandoned, or when it would even come out if it is still active. But the name Vapor would definitely suggest that this is planned to be a direct competitor to Steam, and this would potentially be a big deal in the industry. So Steam currently enjoys a dominant position in the world of PC game sales, while Amazon are the biggest online store in the world, full stop. As well as deep pockets, Amazon have a lot of experience, more than any other company really, in terms of delivering online sales. And if Vapor exists, then any potential integration with Amazon.com or the Amazon-owned Twitch could result in rapid growth and represent a real challenge to Steam, which we maybe haven't really seen before. Previously, of course, Epic have launched a store of their own, which continues to attract some exclusive titles and some interest. And as we reported in a previous week, it's currently a loss-making exercise for Epic that has yet to secure them a truly significant market share. So it's still a work in progress. So this could be seismic. It could be huge, Ben. What do you make of this?
It could be. Firstly, as we all know, like the leaks are terrible. It's not good for Twitch. We don't like to see it. But yeah, it's an interesting one because, like you say, Epic have tried to take on Steam, and it hasn't really come to fruition yet, as you just said. And they do have deep pockets themselves, like not Amazon deep. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether they can challenge that. Because I mean, really, it's what Amazon are asking for really is, and Epic are asking for, is a change in behavior. People are used to using Steam and they're familiar with using Steam, and it's going to have to be something other than this is a shiny new platform that does basically the same thing to lure people away. Because otherwise, why would you? Why would you move away from Steam just because Amazon have launched something that does exactly the same thing? So where the differences are, I think that's going to be the exciting thing, and I think it's going to have to be something more than exclusive titles, because that's what Epic Games has done, and it as yet hasn't really worked all that well. So I think if Amazon come in and just do exactly the same thing and get exclusive titles, I don't think that will take down Steam. A welcome competition, the whole Apple and Epic thing is about not having a monopoly and having competition. Competition is good for the market, but yeah, it'd be interesting. Like say, Amazon have a load of money, and if they want to really throw it at this, they absolutely can. In my roundup post last week, my contribution was about the CEO of Amazon Games saying, we're going all in on this, not specifically about this, but they said they were going all in on games, and maybe that was a hint at what's going on here. So yeah, it's interesting times, interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I firmly believe they have to do something different. It can't just be a different alternative to Steam, otherwise I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there is any integration with Amazon.com, how that manifests, and because people do like using Amazon. People hate Amazon, but they also use Amazon for buying all sorts of things, and they have a lot of power just in that one homepage to put things in front of people, for sure. Our next news story then is about Sledgehammer Games, and I'm going to do an awkward transition here where it's not going to be quite the right size, so forgive me while I fix that background video for you. We're talking about Sledgehammer Games because you might know them from their work on the Call of Duty franchise, and we have today learned, which is very exciting, that they're opening a brand new studio right here in the UK. It's going to be in Guildford, which is just up the road from where we are. They already have studios in California, Toronto and Melbourne, and so this is the fourth studio that they're opening, and it's another welcome boost to Guildford's local industry and to UK dev as a whole. Guildford is already a hotbed of UK talent and will soon be showcased in the upcoming Guildford Games Festival and Awards. The awards are on December 2nd and the festival is December 3rd, and Etch play one of the organising agencies, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, the guys who are making Call of Duty Vanguard, they're moving in, up the road, Ben. What do you make? Do you think it is a good thing?
I think it is a good thing. I think that's very exciting. It's going to bring a whole load of jobs in around Guildford. And I think it is testament to what has been built in Guildford up until this point, that's where they've decided to make their home. We know Guildford is there are a bunch of hotbeds across the country. You've got up in Leamington, and Guildford is one of the bigger ones in the country. So I think it's absolute testament that
it's
obviously
the Hollywood of games. That's what they call it.
Obviously, they think that's where the talent is. There is a lot of talent there, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because we know the games industry; everyone is hiring all the time, and now there's another company coming in that is going to be very, very attractive to people looking to maybe move jobs, get into the industry to work on such a big, well-known, sexy title. So I think it's gonna have a big impact on the jobs market in Guildford. But yeah, I think it's positive for the industry as a whole. You know, getting big names into Guildford is great. And yeah, exciting that it's just up the road. We've got a lot of friends in Guildford that we work with already. So Sledgehammer Games, if you're looking for some help on the web or your marketing, I know a guy
Ben's out here pitching for CallOfDuty.com right now.
Yeah,
Bobby Kotick, if you're watching.
I think it's great.
Things to do. He's got lawsuits to fight. We like to end every week on a news story about games for good, and this is about our belief that games can be a powerful source in the world of good. And this week we're talking about Autistica Play's Relax Mode event. Ben, you've got some stuff to say. Let's hear it.
Yes, so coming hot off the heels, it was World Mental Health Day this weekend just gone. You might have seen that we were on, well, not me personally, but Adam and Dan were on the Etch Play Twitch playing some games for World Mental Health Day. There was a lot going on around that. Kind of hot on the heels of that, it's Autisticas. They do this annually, and as Adam said, it's called Relax Mode. But basically, it's get online, play by yourself, play with some friends, and really just chill out and enjoy video games and get yourself into a state where, you know, you feel good, you're giving yourself a mental health break. So this is happening. It starts tomorrow, does the Relax Mode campaign. It runs from tomorrow, which is the 15th, through to Sunday, the 17th. There's a Just Giving page, which I can see I was about to place it in. Dan has already done it. So go check that out. There's a lot more information on there. You can donate if you want. You can join a stream if you want. But yeah, just if you've got some time over the next 3 days and you want to chill out, something for a good cause, Autistica raise money, as the name might suggest, for people with autism. Jake Mackey, who has moved on from Autistica Play now, has did a lot of great work in the setting up of Autistica Play. So great work for Jake, and I'm sure I'll be happy to see this carrying on, kind of his legacy carrying on. So yeah, please check it out. If you can donate, that would be amazing. If you just want to join the streams and hang out, that would be amazing. Share it. It's fantastic work. We're big fans of Autistica, and yeah, it's a good cause. So yeah, go and check that out.
Yes, it is. Enjoy that this weekend. In terms of Etch Play, that's it for our show. But if you like news, if you're interested in our opinions about things, and why wouldn't you be? Because we're frankly charming. You will find more of our insights and views in our weekly roundup, which is kind of like the show, but it's in written text form. That's on our blog every Friday, so check out etchuk.com/play tomorrow to get the latest edition of that. And we'll be back next week. I don't know what next week's show is going to be yet. We haven't planned that far. We've got a few things in the can video-wise. But we'll be back at the same time, 4 p.m, and yeah, playing games, talking about games, and chatting to people, hopefully, about games. If you are not following us yet, this is a sign from the universe and me that you should follow us now. There is a purple button right underneath this video if you're watching us live on Twitch. If you press that, you get notified every time we go live, which is not that often. It's not that much of a commitment, I promise. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel and get notified whenever we post new videos. So make sure you do that too. I'm Ben and Bert, and he's been Ben Joy. I want to say thank you to Flo Birchill and Martijn van der Molen for coming on the show earlier. Definitely check out their Kickstarter if you haven't already. And we'll be back next week. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Bye.
Bye.